Chucklefish, the company that created Starbound and originally published Star Develop, caught the attention of devs and strategy fans alike this year with the release of Wargroove, a turn-based title in the vein of Advance Wars that has all the good dog units. To mark the game's release, technical director Rodrigo Montero and Chucklefish CEO Bryce dropped by the DD Twitch channel today. A chat about Wargroove's design and development. If you are an indie developer trying to navigate the complicated space of making games and the technical challenges of using pixel art, you should definitely watch the full conversation in the video above, and for more developer interviews and curated video talks. Be sure to drop by and follow the DD Twitch channel. Online tutoring company by just announced yesterday that it teaches developm, developer of educational games for children, for $120 million, as reported by TechCrunch. Osmos offered a cash option, but elected for an all-stock payout. The acquisition will reportedly help Byju's offer a broader range of learning solutions to children between the age of 3 and 8 by tapping into Osmos Tech. This seems to make sense, as Byju's focus is on creating immersive content offered through personalized learning experiences for students. Founded by former Google employees Ahmed Scholler, Osmo was launched back in 2013, and is known for developing a series of digital and offline learning apps tied to customized hardware for iPads and Android tablets. These augmented reality apps integrate offline activities to help children between 5 and 12 learn, and according to Shama, have been incorporated into around 20,000 schools in the United States. My oldest sister used to work at a newspaper. Her editor said, "The good news articles start with a sentence, a tool, so unique to the story you could never use it on another one." This perfectly encapsulates the way I think about game trailers, excluding literal game clones. Every game has something unique about it. It's the job of the trailer maker to find that thing. Video games have a long history of being thought of as products like a car, a smartphone. A lot of people focus on features like cooperative play, unlockable items, physics simulations, and high-resolution textures, etc. This way of looking at games as products can filter down through press coverage, heated online arguments, and advertising. I think this mentality for games is why there are so many game trailers which boil down to a video checklist of features, intercut with the game footage. Many of these trailers end up highlighting the ways a game is similar to others rather than different. From something awful's video game style review of World War Z, it's perfectly understandable for new games to incorporate popular game design features. But I do like to think most people take popular ideas and put a unique spin on them. That unique spin is what a trailer needs to start with. And if there's time, it can cite some bullet points which might interest some people. When I see a feature list in a trailer, it's a lot like the experience of going through profiles on dating apps. There are functionally an infinite number of people on dating apps, but surprisingly few profiles stand out in any appreciable way. For example, where I am in Los Angeles, it does not take long to find a person of any gender who in their profile says something to the effect of, "I am here in Long enjoying living my life to the fullest. I am a fun-loving person who loves to laugh and is fluent in sarcasm. I enjoy hiking, traveling, cooking, going out to eat, seeing shows, and dancing. But I also like to stay at home and watch Netflix. My favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption." This is my attempt at a gender-neutral profile. But if it were for a man, the favorite movie would be verified co-op fiction. It's a thing. Their photos would also include car selfies, Machu Picchu, Snapchat filters, and a sedated tiger. Posing with the tiger also says you are an asshole who does not care about what the tiger had to go through for your photo op. These common qualities quickly become meaningless, and make the person seem uninteresting despite the fact there must be something which makes them unique from everyone else. There are a few key things which make a profile stand out. Uniqueness is of course by definition something which stands out from the crowd. I have already cited a number of ways people make themselves look similar to others. But another mainstay of dating profiles are men who take shirtless selfies. Those will not make a guy stand out from the crowd. But a person in 2019 whose I saw of 1930s musicals will draw attention because it's not something you are likely to find in dozens or hundreds of profiles. There are a countless number of games where you shoot and kill other people or things. These man's-unique games poke through the noise. For example, Papers. PLASCWHERE you play a border-crossing immigration officer, looking at documents and stamping passports. Or Florence, which is a game about a relationship between a woman and a man where the game interactions are metaphors for their trials and tribulations. Papers. Please Stranger could. They cited its branching narrative, multiple endings, and the number of characters. But it did not. Specificity means digging deeper into an idea. For example, cooking is a very broad interest. For all I know, this person's definition of cooking is microwaving a frozen dinner. A specific example could be cooking pod stickers. This says the person is very likely of Asian descent and enjoys making food from scratch. For games, a broad gameplay descriptor is platformer. A more specific example could be platformer, where you cannot jump, which is one of the ideas behind Nintendo's excellent Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Shameless plug, if you want a recipe, buy my mom's cookbook. Unique combinations can also draw attention. There are some things which are unsurprising to see together, like a person who lists me neighbor TOTOROANDP no keys their favorite movies. But what if someone said their favorite movies are My Neighbor TOTOROAND A History of Violence, a first-person shooter, where you are in the military? It's a very cliche combination. But a first-person shooter where time only moves when your movie is unique. There are a lot of games whose entire hook are based on unique combinations. The premise behind the Tokyo Jungle was created by mashing together two words which do not seem like they belong together. If this combination does not interest you, please check your posts. Unique presentation can make the exact same information seem entirely different. A common opening on dating profiles for people of all genders is, "My best friend says this about me. I do not know where this comes from. It makes me feel like there's one article somewhere which tells people to use this setup." But I have also read profiles which far better have worth stand out because of unique presentation. One I remember for being incredibly long. One used a lot of emoji. Another person chose to format their favorites into lists with only one item per line, instead of in a block of text. Presentation is what trailers have ultimate control over. INTDLCUTT and bullet points with game footage is the most basic way to do it. But there are so many ways to show a game uniquely. This trailer for a fishing plane makes a fishing game look like it's the latest high-tech racing game from Sony, a Microsoft. In a doubt you played as an ape escaping from a facility. They made their first trailer playable The only limit to how to present something is the creativity of the trailer makers. This is one case where a list of features works beautifully, because of the absurdity of the presentation. All this to say, there are so many ways to find something unique to frame a trailer around. 60 to 90 seconds is not a very long time to make up each for a game, so why waste the time citing similarities a game shares with others? When I make a trailer, I first look at a game's features and qualities, and cross out everything I recognize from other games. Everything left over is where I start.